welcome back to Vital Signs. I'm Jen Goday here talking with Dr. Christi about all things sex, hormonal health, and we are going to dive right into something that is a topic of hot discussion, and that's metabolic health. And those are a lot of big words. So I'm going to ask you, Dr. Christi, to kind of talk to us. What is metabolic health anyway?
Yeah, metabolic health is the way that the body processes food and produces energy. So think about the food that we intake goes into each cell of our body, the fat, the carbs, and the protein, and then our body processes that and goes through a cell cycle, the Krebs cycle, if you remember that from high school biology, and spits out ATP or energy. So what happens over time, and one of the biggest things that in our society is that we have such an abundance of food. We're so blessed with so much food and so many different choices that it's very easy to overeat and stress our body to where our metabolism doesn't work right. And we get what's called insulin resistance, which is prediabetes, and then can turn into diabetes. So I became interested in this as a urologist because I would see patients that would come in with these chronic bladder conditions, say recurrent UTIs or even leaky bladders, and I began to see a pattern that they were often overweight, they had diabetes or pre-diabetes, and it's all linked together because we're not just individual organs, we're all one holistic person. And so I began to work with my patients. Let's look at where you are with your labs. Let's see, has anybody looked at some of these markers and get you on a better path so that you're not going down the path towards high blood pressure, stroke, heart attack, all of those, cancer, Alzheimer's. Metabolic health, poor metabolism leads to those complications. We want to be on a path where our body is just chugging along like a well-oiled machine. We have so much energy and we can keep moving and keep being productive and avoid that so we get on a better path. And so that's what I like to help my patients do. So I actually developed a BioVitality methodology testing where we do a very thorough panel. I've never seen anything quite like what we offer, where we look at food sensitivities. We look at micronutrients, about 30 different, or more than that, about 50 different micronutrients, and how they've been building up in the body over the last 3 months, not just where they are at this particular moment, but what's actually in your body. We look at multiple markers of aging, we look at DNA health, and we can get a good picture of your metabolism, your overall health, how are you aging, what can we do to get you on a better path. And that links back to sexual health and intimate wellness, because when you aren't taking care of yourself and you don't have the energy, you don't feel good, your body doesn't work right. You don't have the same sexual response, you don't feel the same. Once I get my patients back on track and they lose weight, then they are feeling amazing and they're having a better sex life and a better marriage.
Well, and let's just talk about the aesthetic piece of it. When we lose weight, we feel sexier.
Yes,
I mean, let's be real. When we feel good and when we look good, it elevates everything else. And so I just want to kind of break this down for you watching. Metabolic health is everything. If we are in a state where we're not functioning optimally there, we are on a lifestyle disease crash course, basically, but we can take that back. We have the ability, no matter where we are on that collision course, we have opportunity now to work with somebody such as Dr. Christi so that we can get back on track and we can normalize these things. And so, Dr. Christi, talk to me a little bit about what are some of the actions that people can take today. Maybe I'm sitting, I'm watching, I know I'm overweight, I'm tired, I need energy, I know that I'm not where I need to be, and maybe it's going to be a little while before I can get in to see you. What are some easy steps that I can take today that can maybe get me on a better course towards metabolic health?
Yeah, well, it's going to sound trite, but it's the truth. And I've go to anti-aging conferences, and the bottom line always goes back to diet and exercise and stress. lowering stress levels. That's a big impact on metabolic health. But let's talk about, those are very basic things that we can all do. They're all within our power. And there's so much advice about diet. Sometimes it gets confusing.
Oh, it does.
So I do like to encourage patients to talk to a nutritionist that can really guide you. But the bottom line is eating plants. Eating a lot of plants is the best way to go. Fruits and vegetables, all the different colors of the rainbow is going to give you the nutrients that you need. You're going to get hydrated, and you're eating whole foods. Avoiding processed foods is very important. So the more that you can cut out those processed foods and replace them with whole foods, you're going to do your body so much good. Your body's going to love it. I've been a vegetarian now for 16 years. And that has really, I think, got me on a much better path towards aging, where I feel better now than I've ever felt in my life, because I'm just eating these plants all the time, and it gives me energy and helps my skin look good. It just keeps me healthy. Exercise, get out and walk. That's one of the best exercises you can do. You don't have to overdo it. You don't necessarily have to join a gym. But getting out and walking, and then doing some kind of weight-bearing exercise so you can build your muscles. Muscles are the #1 anti-aging organ in the body because they help your metabolism. And then finally, stress is one of the silent killers. It's so bad for us, and we live in such a stressful society where we are just going all the time. There's so much stress around us. So turning off the news, getting our sleep, connecting with God, connecting on a spiritual level with our Creator, that is going to decrease our stress level and help us to get on a better path.
I love it. And it's about physical, mental, emotional well-being. And if we're off in any area, it's going to impact everything else. We're running a little bit close towards the end of our segment, but you wrote a book about this. And I really don't want to miss this resource, because if you're watching this, Dr. Christi is literally compiling things, especially for women, so that we can lead a peak human performing life. Why don't you share a little bit about your book?
Sure, yeah. I released this last year, and it is available on Amazon in print and Kindle. It's called the BioVitality Blueprint Book, A Woman's Plan for Elite Health and a Joyful Life. And it's very comprehensive. It goes into everything that we've talked about and a lot more, talking about urological health, talking about spiritual health, and figuring out why you're doing what you're doing, and really connecting with your purpose in life. And my whole goal is to help people to feel great and to really be able to fulfill the purpose for which God designed them for. Each one of us is here for a reason at this time, and I want to help people to be able to be healthy enough and to have the motivation and the energy to be able to fulfill that purpose. And it gives you a lot of joy whenever you do connect with that purpose, right?
Absolutely. I mean, like, I'll be frank, I've gone through different transitions in life where I'm like, okay, especially empty nesting. That's a classic one, right? Mm-hmm. When all of a sudden my whole purpose was raising this human being, and now she no longer needs me. Yeah. Like, that was a life transition. I had to really dive deep. And for me, touching point with that purpose is my first thing. That's my first touch point every morning, and living with intention. So when you have a purpose, when you follow that, if you don't take care of the vessel, that which is your body, and are not peak performing, then you don't show up ideally, maximally, optimally in every way.
Exactly. That is exactly my mantra, Jen. I love it.
So Dr. Christi, it's been such an amazing time having you here. And is there any last, little gem of wisdom that you would love to impart to our audience today?
Well, the most important thing in my life and to me is that spiritual component. I mean, you can have the best health in the whole world, and if you're not connected to God and you miss that part about life, then ultimately it's not going to work out for you. You're not going to be satisfied with your life. And at some point, our health, all of our health is going to decline. That's inevitable. And so we need to have that connection to God to give us peace, to give us comfort, no matter what is going on in our life. And not only that, but we can connect with Him here and now and get His energy and be built up. So that would be my number one thing that I would like to tell people.
It has been phenomenal. I feel like I could go on for 6 hours with you because you have so much expertise and there's so much to be gleaned from your knowledge, and you're just an amazing person to have on here. So thank you for sharing your wisdom with us today, and I really appreciate you being here.
Thank you so much for having me. And if you want to connect with me, my website is lifesculptmd.com. And I'm on social media under that same name or under Love Life Medicine. So I'd love to connect with you there.
So you, yes, you, I am talking to you. Go ahead and go to lifesculptmd.com, or the handle is at LifeSculpt by Christi MD. Check out Dr. Christi. If you're having any challenges in this area, you're interested in metabolic health, hormonal health, libido, or anything in her areas of expertise, be sure to reach out to her. She is an expert in our space. Unfortunately, we do have to take a brief break, but remember that you want to know where you are today, and she gave you 2 easy action steps. Get off the couch, take a pause, go for a walk, get your body moving, and eat the rainbow. No, I'm not talking about Fruit Loops. I'm talking about eat the rainbow, all the colorful fruits and veggies, so we can get the nutrition that we need so that our body can be optimally performing. Without further ado, I will see you in just a few moments.